9 of the Undercover Policing Inquiry Tranche 1 Phase 3. We've been listening this morning to the evidence of former Spy Cops manager Angus McIntosh. Like many, he's been fairly articulate in his responses. I'm sure he's covering many things. He does say that there was consideration given to the sex relationships, which was more than the others have said. But he claimed, he talked about facts of life and the fact they need to be married for that reason, which the others tried to skirt around. He quite interestingly, when asked about the deployment, or the lack of deployment of undercover officers into far-right groups, he says that's because the far-right groups were quite violent and involved with criminality, and it would be very, very, very difficult to put an undercover officer into those sort of organisations. He also said that it was impossible to get a large amount of information about the far right from the infiltration of the far left, because the far left were so interested into what the far right were up to, which is a horrendous fucking line. Jesus Christ. He's still giving evidence right now, actually. In fact, because I've got the feed of what is going out. The facts of life comment has just been said, so it means I can tweet everything that. Sorry, I'm just going back and tweeting what to catch up. This 10-minute delay is incredibly difficult. I do wish. I mean, it's not. I do wish we didn't have it, for one, which I don't think it's going to change. But alternatively, if anybody knows of a way in which you can just auto-delay your tweets by 10 minutes, because at the moment I'm just going back every so often and doing a flurry, that would be really helpful. Other than that, Angus McIntosh he's talked about the relationship with the security services. He claims that it would have been mostly above his pay grade, as it were. More senior officers than him involved in it. Let's have a look. He didn't have, like so many, there's limitations to his training. There's no kind of handover. So on about the alcohol point, he says that the only concern was drink driving, and this was a significant concern apparently, because if they lost their license, then they'd lose their job. You'd think that they wouldn't be, that it wouldn't need underlining so much, but he seemed to think that it would. He brought it up twice, that drink driving was the main area of concern for undercover officers. It was put to him that given that a number of the former undercover officers that he were managed whilst he was a manager with the SDS ended up having sexual relations, particularly Vincent Harvey, who had 4. It's put to him that he wasn't particularly strict with his directions towards them considering sexual liaisons, which seemed to quite offend him. He was like, I was strict. I've always believed in police. I mean, I'm sure he was a strict sort of character, but clearly not on this. Other than that, he said there was no limit to the type of intelligence that was gathered. It was a high level. Like he talks about the sort of though he was a manager, that a lot of the direction came from above him, from higher up in S squad. There was a bit about how he, because he was involved in recruitment, so how he chose potential candidates. He said that he would have checked with their senior managers, but he wouldn't have checked with their contemporaries, because there was a lot of banter. There was a lot of banter, as he kept saying, banter. There was a lot of banter, because these were men, and men have banter all the time, which I suppose is true enough. But he says that he wouldn't take too much stock with what banter was said, because it may not be true, or and that you needed also that Smash Branch was quite small, and there were a lot of cliques, and asking the opinion of an officer from his contemporaries would be from those other members of those cliques, and you couldn't trust them. It wouldn't be good information, which feels like it's telling on yourself a bit there. about the quality of officers in Special Branch. Anyway, I better go back. We're about to start up again. We'll be going now till 1, and hopefully I'll have someone joining me at 1 to reflect on what was said this morning.